Hi, friends. This is Wendy Harrop, and welcome to the Say Yes to Yourself podcast. On the Say Yes to Yourself podcast, you'll hear stories from women just like us who are adding the practice of saying yes in their daily lives in big and small ways, and as a result, are experiencing the truth that everybody wins when you say yes to yourself. Saying yes to yourself is a graceful unfolding, an intentional becoming of the very best version of you. It is my hope that in these conversations, we are able to find our truth and be inspired and empowered to live our very best lives. I'm so excited to go on this journey with you, and I look forward to finding a bit of our own story in each other's. You guys, you know how I've been committed for the month of July prior to going to France to working through all my piles. And we just had the most delicious week of delicious weather. So for 5 days, I was in the yard, mowing, weeding, prepping the dahlias, attending to this beautiful space that is alive. It needs a lot of sunshine and very little water to expand and grow in immeasurable ways. And I have to say, the best part is ending 10 hours of crossing things off my list, coming inside, showering, washing my hair, and putting on these ridiculously fabulous Cozy Earth loungewear. These pajamas are so fabulous, and I'm wearing them at 5:17 in the evening because I worked outside for 10 hours and I am clean and ready to relax with my guilty pleasure, an old season of Grey's Anatomy. But you have to get these pajamas. You have to have this loungewear in your arsenal for those beautiful nights that are just like all the others, or the delicious ones that you get to put those on earlier than normal. This fabric, it is buttery soft, it's breathable, it is so elegant. It is loungewear that actually makes you feel like your favorite version of yourself. It's made from the viscose of bamboo. It naturally wicks away heat and moisture, keeping you several degrees cooler. Whether you are folding laundry or watching Grey's Anatomy like me, it is luxury you live in. Right now, my listeners, you are getting 40% off with the code SAYYES. So visit cozyearth.com and use the code SAYYES to wrap yourself in something beautiful, because we all deserve that. Happy Friday. Happy August. Happy 2 weeks till a month in France. Whatever you're celebrating, I am celebrating with you. And happy, happy, happy is our theme. How are you doing? I'm clearly in a super happy place. I'm just delighted. I'm delighted that my piles are getting smaller and smaller. I'm delighted that my commitment to myself is real, that I am working through all of these things on my to-do list to get me closer to being prepared for what is next. I feel like something really big is coming, and I feel like I'm a day closer, obviously, every day that passes, but I feel like I'm closer to it with every conversation that I have on this podcast. I am meeting the most phenomenal women, as you are witness to, but this is so fun. And I just want to tell you, if you have a podcast in your heart, if you want to do something as magical and fabulous as this, if you want to dwell in this happy goodness that I am in, I cannot recommend this platform highly enough. So DM me. I would love to chat with you about starting a podcast of your own. I think it's so great. And I know that you have something fabulous to say. And I know that there are people that need to hear it. And I want to support you in that next yes. So hooray. And maybe that's what freedom looks like to you. We have freedom on our brains as we prepare for next week's Say Yes Summit. So many wonderful things to celebrate, including today's really fun and fabulous guest. Rune is with us. She is a writer and storyteller based in the Pacific Northwest, where the natural beauty and rainy introspective days fuel her creativity. After turning 30, she experienced a transformative realization that she had allowed fear to shape much of her life. This awakening sparked in her a commitment to lead an extraordinary life within the space of an ordinary one. Diagnosed with ADHD in her early 50s, Rune's watchful self drew character inspiration from her interactions with others, as well as her inborn sense of humanity and social justice. Words have been a constant for Rune as she has written in some way for most of her life, often using storytelling to encourage others to pursue what lights them up. The Find Me Extraordinary Life Seeker series has been a 25-year passion project, aligning her with her decision to live meaningfully and reach beyond one's current self. You guys, she is so cool. And I would not have met her without the beautiful platform that is this podcast. So I am telling you, if this is in your heart, you got to say yes to this. But in the meantime, please enjoy this really fun conversation with Rune. H, I love that we're just starting there. It's so fun and mysterious and fabulous. I'm delighted to have you here. Thank you so much in advance for your time.
I appreciate it. I'm just tickled to talk to you today for sure.
I love what a beautiful invitation that is. So fun. Let's just start. We'll get the logistics out of the way because I feel like it's going to be the beginning of a very beautiful conversation and friendship. How are you saying yes to yourself in this season?
Okay. I I am saying a big yes right now to really being and becoming into my most spiritual self. I I have been getting messages and just feeling into this inner ability, and I'm stepping into my woo in a big way, and trying everything, listening a lot. I've really been working on my health and my body and taking walks outside and hugging more trees and just trying to be a light in this place we're in currently. So,
I love it. I love just love everything. I love you. I love my life. I love this podcast. I love the graceful unfolding that each day is, and how when we are aware, when we're practicing presence, when we are reinventing ourselves, when we are just taking the next logical step, all of these beautiful things come into alignment. And it's so gorgeous. Even in this leading question, when I started this podcast, I had a co host. She's an amazing woman. She's Australian. She lives in France. And I told her I was going to start a podcast. And she said, "Oh, we should do it together." And I said, "Okay, sure." So we did. And it was so fun. And when it was time for her to complete, I was far from completing. And that day, I changed the name to Say Yes to Yourself because I was talking about a France trip that I was promoting. And I was telling in my, telling everybody in my community, like, you're not saying yes to me by going on this trip or yes to the amazing collaborators we're going to visit. You're saying yes to yourself. So this was already in my vernacular, and then to have that be the leading question that I start every single one of these podcasts. And it's so beautiful to have one constant and never the same answer from
Mm.
any time I've asked it. And it has shifted
Oh.
how I, if I meet a new person, I'm sitting next to some gorgeous woman on the airplane on my way back to Paris, or I'm meet somebody at a party or something. That's my lead in. I want to know what you do or if you have kids, like all this that'll come out if that's what you want. But I feel like it's such a it's such an invitation and opportunity for reflection in the moment.
Mhm.
So sorry to use all of those words in our time, but
No,
I love your answer.
I totally agree with you. And we are so, as women, I'm making generalities.
It's
We are
okay.
so used to not saying yes to ourselves and putting
Mhm.
every single other person, in front of ourselves. And yeah, I love that you're doing this and that you just have this avalanche of amazing, inspiring women that you are grabbing and bringing into this fold. It's an avalanche or a tidal wave, and you're doing it. I love what you're doing too.
Gosh.
I want to go to France with you.
Please do.
Yeah.
I just want you to know how much I receive those generous words and how even your choice of the word avalanche that was in my journaling and meditation today, that word came to me and
Whoa.
I know. So please step into your season of woo because I
Yes.
am here for it. And all of these beautiful conversations are just consistent reminders of how connected we are. And we are one and we are a sisterhood. And we also love men if they're not jerks. And we love women if they're not jerks. And like all those things.
Yeah.
But there is this connection that we're not making it up. Like you did not read my journal from wherever beautiful place in the world you are. So it's just this alignment, this presence, this availability that we have to be in authentic communication with each other. That they're not our words, they're just falling out of
Right.
our
Yeah.
mouth.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Totally. Totally.
Mm,
Yeah, I feel like that a lot when I'm writing.
I
That,
bet.
it's just, and I've said this, to other people. It's like the words are shooting through my fingers onto the keyboard, but they're not mine. Like I'll go back and read something that I wrote like, I don't know, a year ago or whatever, and I'm like, wow, I didn't put that sentence together, did I? And then it's like, yes, I did. And it's fabulous. So it's such a cool feeling to be in that place of authenticity where you are just you and it's gelling. Like I love it. I love it.
Oh my gosh, I love that. And that's flow state, right? Like where you are just you're just a channel. Like the divine is moving through you, whether you're speaking, whether you're playing tennis, whether you're writing a book, whether you're doing whatever it is that is your thing. Maybe you're with your grandkids, and that is just your place of such connection. It's beautiful. So tell me about the book. Tell me about this process of capturing words that are shooting through your body. Like, I want to know everything.
I've been writing my book series for 25 years.
Hmm, amazing.
So it really started when I hit 30. Everybody hits 30 and you start to really think and process everything that's been going on, or, what improvements can I make? And I realized at age 30 that I wanted, or I'd lived the majority of my life making my life decisions based on fear
Mm,
and what could happen. I should play it safe here. marry this safe person, you know, don't go to school because you could fail because you didn't do well in regular school, and just make myself small. And then it was like, you know what? Now I want to live the rest of my life. I want to have an extraordinary life. So ever since then, that has been my mission. So, you have your mission and I have my mission to live an extraordinary life. Well, if it's very subjective, right? What does that mean to somebody? Because it could mean that you just ditch everything in your life and move to Barbados, right?
Mhm.
But I had young kids at home and that's not what I was going to do. So I just started saying yes to little bits and opportunities that came my way. And I started to see my life get bigger and bigger and bigger. So that is a lot what's in the book. The book is called the Find Me Extraordinary Life Seeker series. And it is a weird book in that it's a mix of memoir and fiction because the author, me, writes up 5 little books filled with her memories of people that she's known, that have affected her in some way. And she uses their initials at the top of each entry. So she makes these 5 little books, and then she sends those books out into the world asking, with a note inside, asking that they be passed along until such time somebody that she wrote about would read it, recognize her, and bring the book back to her.
Oh my gosh. I have chills.
So that's like the concept. But within this concept, I had the ability to have 3 strands of narration. So I have the memories that I wrote about, of the people that I wrote about, which are actual people, what they meant, if maybe they didn't do me right or whatever, whatever it was. And then I have one of the braids is the author's journal entries over time as she waits. And so in those journal entries, you see the vulnerability, you see, her really struggling with some different parts of herself or in her life and how she manages and navigates those. And then the third part is we get to watch the book's travel. So we get to have the character that finds a book and then how they transfer it to the next person, to the next person, to the next person. So those people are wildly diverse characters. They're from all walks of life, different parts of the country. The book crosses country, each one. And so it's honestly, it's fun. It's been a fun ride. It doesn't follow typical, book formatting really at all because I use 3 different typesets to describe each section. And then because people are like, well, can I pass this book along to somebody? I'm like, yes, you can. So in the back, I actually have lines for people to write their name and location and date and move the book along. And then, just because like I'm a crazy person, I have some limited edition trackable versions too that you can see on a map on my website. So,
I
yeah.
have chills. This is so cool.
Well, I'm gonna send you some.
Thank you. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. I love that we get to do whatever we want.
Yes. I literally said
Welcome
that
to
today.
50.
Out of the shower, I'm like, 50's when you can do whatever you want and like nobody's the boss of you anymore.
And it feels so good. And one of the things that I realized is that I thought this was going to be this great declarative statement that was going to shake up everything. No one was actually trying to be the boss of me. I was just allowing them to be the boss of me this whole time. Like,
Mhm.
I freed me from me
Yeah.
and I freed me to be me, which is like 3 different typefacing in a book I'm writing.
Are you doing it too?
No, but I'm just like,
Oh,
as I said it, I
oh,
was like, oh, I we are your book at the same time
yes.
because we are living this narrative, and then we have these alternative realities that we want, and then all the reasons that we think we can't be her. And
Mm-hmm.
then when we finally step into our power, we realize that we had the keys to the door that wasn't even locked this whole entire time, and there's no one on the other side keeping it closed.
I mean, we weren't taught that. And
No,
even like our mothers, they were even more or imagined held in place than quotation marks there, you know. Some of them actually were, but
totally.
yeah, I mean, and I love the next generation. Like, oh my gosh, my kids, I have a 30-year-old daughter and a 26-year-old. And like they know about boundaries. I'm sorry, boundaries just came into my life last year, you
Mhm.
know?
Right, because we knew conditions.
Yeah.
We didn't know boundaries. We
Yeah.
just knew you can't do that
Yeah. They still teach me stuff. So
because you're available to learn it.
I do try and look at life in general as just this big thing of lessons. We're just in this class of life, and even the hard things, where maybe we think it was a mistake, but it was also a lesson.
Hmm.
And we don't learn anything if everything is just flatlined all the time.
Or doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, I mean, if we don't care, I just yesterday I was thinking, I have all this love, right, for
Mhm.
everything and everyone, and it also causes me tears
Mhm.
and this feeling of, sorrow when people are hurting and everything like that, because I'm an
Yeah.
empath too. So it's like, but I am really grateful that I have this capacity to
Yeah.
love and feel
Yeah.
rather than being, shunted or stopped up, you
Hmm.
know? Yeah, I cry, but like stuff means stuff to me.
Right.
I'm making it okay. I'm
I
making it okay.
love that. And you're the only audience that needs to be satisfied with your actions.
I mean, yeah, that was another quote I loved is like, I think it was Dr. Phil, to be honest, and he's whatever right now, but he said, you wouldn't worry so much about what other people thought if you realized how little they did.
Hmm.
They don't think of you. Other
No.
people are not thinking of you, they're thinking about themselves.
Right.
And not in a selfish way. They just have stuff going on, as we all
Right.
know. So, yeah.
Oh my gosh. I love this. I love this decision to experience freedom and how you're modeling that for your daughters in ways that they're also reciprocating in modeling freedom for you, because I think everybody has their own definition. This idea of, not this idea, this truth of, I believe it's true, of our connectedness, of our oneness, and at the same time, our individual experience is not to just discount what everybody's doing and pretending it doesn't have an effect on me, but it's denying that what they're doing has power in its effect on me, right? Like I get to decide that, and I get to let everybody have the experience that they're having.
Hmm.
And I focus on my experience. And of course, other people are positively impacted because I'm focused on my experience, and probably more so than when I was trying to manage all of their experiences, so that, almost creating the conditions that I told myself I was creating those conditions so that they would have a better experience, but it was really so that I would have a better experience. Because if I make sure that you're okay and you're not mad, then that won't mess with my joy. So I'm trying to read your mind and figure out how to make you create this perfect environment where you don't have anything that is maddening to you, which is exhausting because you're not inside that other person's mind anyway. But it was really, I told myself that that was me being selfless and taking care of everybody else. It was just a really convoluted way to take care of myself. It was a trauma response.
Yeah. You know, I've shared in my books is the generational healing. So the stuff that I had come up against, with the narcissistic father and everything was not going to affect my daughters. Like I wanted them, and I've been saying for years, we want to live a big, fat, juicy life. Well, that big, fat, juicy life this last summer had my youngest in a cave underground in the middle of Tennessee with me 5 hours away by airplane. And I was like, I don't really want you to do that. But
Yeah,
she's like, big, fat, juicy life, mom. And that's all they have to
right.
say. And it's like, all right, go do it. Go do it.
Wow. Can you say more about what practices you implemented in allowing her to have the experience that you actually set herself up to have?
I mean, I was sending her good energy, healing. I did a security bubble around her and her entire team, which I do that often, like if I'm going to take a drive or, we're going on a trip, or my daughter right now is in Amsterdam, my other daughter. So I do a protective bubble, imagined or not, whatever people
Mhm.
think. And me and her older sister, who also wasn't jazzed about her going into a cave where it's like really small. Anyway, we were texting. So we were supporting each other in this kind of moment
Right,
where, and it's something that I wouldn't myself personally want to do. And I also don't want to stop her.
right,
And I think I've been having those moments throughout my parenting with them. So like there was same daughter that went in the cave. She was 5 and she was a really good skier. And I am not a good skier. I'm about the journey. Hey, look at the pretty trees. I'm just
right.
gonna, weave my way down the hill. Anyway, we get off the chairlift and that kid of mine just points her skis straight down the hill and goes. And I'm sitting there like terrified, okay,
Right.
because I can't ski as fast as her. I can't be with her. And then I started to say, hey, wait, because I wanted her to wait for me. But then I was like, you know what? Be careful. I'll see you at the bottom. And it was like, I don't want to stop her.
Yeah.
I didn't want to stop her or infuse any fear into her
Hmm.
because I wasn't going to be able to go as fast as she did. So I didn't want to put any, hey, there's bad people on the mountain, in front of her or, any of it. I just was like, go.
Right. Oh, it's so beautiful. It's a the concept that's coming to my mind is this bless and release, which sometimes we say that we're going to use that with someone that we're not enjoying their company or their influence in our life. We're just going to bless them and release them. But it's such a good practice for parenting as well. I have an 11-year-old and I'm co-parenting her with my ex-husband, and there are she's having two separate experiences,
Mhm.
right? And but she's actually having three separate experiences because she is a person and she's brilliant and she's in tune and she's aligned and she's verbal about it, and I'm so proud of her for using her words when something is uncomfortable because I'm not 11 and it is not easy for me to use my words when I'm uncomfortable with that person as well, you know? And so I love watching her and having this. reminder that she is the only one inside her own body who knows what her experience is. And if I'm ever going to teach her to trust that, I have to trust it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's good stuff. And I
Yeah.
love that your daughter is empowered to be able to speak on her own behalf and be her own advocate. And that probably a lot comes from you and the fact that you're
Yeah.
doing it.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
I celebrate that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. She's a unicorn. She's the most amazing human I've ever met in my
Mm.
life. And I love the opportunity to, we talked about our mothers and, everyone, not just our mothers, not just a previous generation, everyone is doing the best they can with the tools that they have. And I bless and release in all of those areas as well. But I love the opportunities that parenting her is giving me to reparent parts of
Mhm.
myself that I think also is giving my mom opportunities to reparent parts of herself because the child she parented, of course, grew into this woman who also reinvented herself recently. So I'm no longer the woman that she thought she knew, so there's just all of this beautiful evolution. And because the three of us, my mom and my daughter and I, are approaching this life experience that we're sharing from a place of curiosity. And there's so much expansion in that and so much growth and opportunity for understanding and growth. And my mom, of course, is speaking into my daughter and teaching her beautiful things. And I am doing that as well. And she's doing it for both of us, and I'm doing it for both of them. It's just this gorgeous ecosystem that is a decision that we make to trust that each of us knows what's best for each of us.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. I love that you have a champion in that with your mom. I know my mom, she'll read my stuff and she'll be like, I didn't know this, and then, she's learning about lots of different things. And she's like, I wish I would have done it this other way. And as a mother, we all wish sometimes that we would have made a different
Yeah,
decision or, said something different. But I'm like, never feel that way. Like I don't want you to beat yourself up about it. You can, you stew on it over here for, I'll give you a day or whatever.
yeah,
But but really everything that has happened has brought us here.
totally.
And if you would have done something different back then, I might be a different person.
Right.
So I'm fine with however all of this has gone on.
Yeah.
I have no regrets. I just live in a place of I love the curiosity word. I have another little story to tell you
Yeah.
in a second, but yeah, it's this spherical way of being in the world rather than, there's a couple parts of yourself, you know?
Right. And you can't go back and fix this. Like she
No.
can want to do that differently. That's beautiful. What could this inspire you to do differently today?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. And I know she's had conversations with my brother that are, expansive and in ways of building a better relationship between the two of them, and she is curious and she does want to read more and she does want to understand. And, she had her own
Mhm.
childlike or childhood experience, with all of those issues that she had, So I totally agree that we're all coming at everything with the knowledge and belief system and whatever we had. But
Right.
we can add to it.
Yes.
Just keep going.
Right. Just like we add to our closet.
Yes.
right? It's so fun. I'm eager to hear your story about curiosity.
Oh, okay. So I have ADHD also. I'm a late in life diagnosed woman. I was diagnosed at 52. So that's also going to be a big part of my book 4.
Okay.
So the ADHD part. So anyway, I'm used to the idea that I have masked for the majority of my life, tried to act a certain way in certain situations because I knew that I was of a different brain.
Hmm,
So, but I get really curious. Like we're very naturally curious.
sure.
And so I was at the grocery store and I was looking in the fish section and there's I don't know, I'm gonna forget there's sole. There was sole available and halibut. And I asked the man behind the counter, I'm like, sole, is that one of those flat fish too, like a halibut? And he's like, yes. And then I was like, oh, that was probably a weird question to ask. Like, wouldn't you want to know what it tastes like or whatever from the fish? And he's like, I said, oh, that was probably a weird question to ask. I actually said that because I'm just really naturally curious, is what I said. And he goes, if you're curious, you never get old.
That's beautiful.
Isn't that cool?
Yes.
My mother, she's 83 and she's not old
Nope.
because she just brings in more, you
Oh,
know?
I love that.
And
That's
she's
so
she's an
beautiful.
artist and she started her watercolor business 2 years ago at, 81.
I love her. I need to have her on the podcast too.
You would love it.
I would love it.
He's had a crazy life too. It's
It's
good.
so fun. We're just all saying yes to ourselves in big and small ways.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
so good. That's right. Yes, that's the appropriate answer. So you've got the book. It's in three parts, or you've done three books in the series so far of a 5 book series. Are each of those three books done from those three vantage points, or is book one vantage point one and book two vantage
They
point two?
they are all having all three.
Oh, okay, fantastic.
Yeah. So, and I have a cheat code that I put in the front to
Brilliant.
outline those, just to get people over the hump to what in the heck.
Right.
Um, um, so yeah, and then, and with each book has a different section of my life and the drama, issues, growth, whatever you want to call it. And then all these cool new characters. And these characters have been a blast to write because, I was like, okay, I in my second book, I have the book end up in a senior residence with a bunch
Cool.
of people. And it makes them start thinking about moments in their life and people and all these things. But the age range, I had one character, and I had her be one of the Rosie Riveters
Oh,
during World
cool.
War II. And so I pulled back and did some of that. So I researched that. And then I discovered that during World War II, in California, the airplane manufacturer that was making the planes for the war, they they camouflaged their entire factory.
Oh, wow.
They took Hollywood set designers and they completely camouflaged I can't think of the name of the plant down there. It's a airplane plant, whatever. But they covered them with this net that made it look like fields, farm fields, and they would have some of their employees pretend to be the wife and go and change out the laundry on the line twice a
Gosh.
day. And they hid everything.
That's cool.
And it's like, I'm putting that in the book. That's
Right.
cool. So it's been such an opportunity to put in those little nuggets of, lesser known US history,
Right.
and I'm such a geek about it anyway. Like, I love to learn new things and learning all those things just, I mean, and one thing will send you down to another thing and another thing. And then you're just sitting in this coolness. And then, the whole divine help too. It's like, okay, I want to have a character who is in the South, and her dad owns the grocery store in the South, and we've got all this towards the civil rights kind of time period, and it's a resort town, so she's constantly being shown the finer life by the tourists that come, and I'm like, okay. And then I just picked a state and I just went doink. And then here's this actual history
Oh,
that I could
cool.
pull from, with this great pavilion that, musicians used to come and visit. And I can put that in there and just build this huge thing for this character who's fictional.
I love it. Oh,
It's
I
so
love
fun.
it. It is so fun. You are creating a beautiful experience for yourself and then also for your reader, and then showing them what's possible.
Yes,
Isn't
so
it
fun.
fun? We get
Yeah,
to
I
just
love
make it
it.
up.
Oh, I love making stuff up.
We're good at it.
Yeah, totally.
Oh, I love this so much. Please tell everyone where they can find and follow you, where they can get their hands on the book, whatever else you want us to know about books 4 and 5. What's on your heart?
Okay. So my books are available on Amazon. They are on like Barnes and Noble, different websites like that. I would love it if people would go to their local bookstores and
Mm-hmm.
ask for it, trying to get more people knowing about the book and the series, because I think it actually has some global reach as far as how one we are.
Yes. Yeah.
It's trying to show how small the world is, and how if we work together to do something, magic can happen. So the local bookstores, if you ask the library, it's available. So book 1 and 2 are out now. This is February. Book 3 will be out in March. So when this airs in July, book 3 will be out. Book 4 is potentially coming out this year as well. And book 5, I need to take this big, cool trip that I've got planned in order for me to round up for book 5. And so that one will probably come 2026.
Oh my gosh, that's so exciting. Can you say anything about your trip?
No,
Okay.
I,
We'll
I
wait
said
for the
no.
book.
Sorry, that was probably the first no in the whole podcast.
That's okay. You're in alignment with you. It's beautiful.
Stay tuned.
I can't wait. It's so fun. It's so fun. I love it. Well, we'll link everything down in the show notes so that people can get their hands on that, and they can go to your website and watch the trackable versions of these to see where they've traveled so far. It's really exciting. I've loved this conversation, H. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.
I hope you enjoyed that conversation as much as I did. As always, any links or notes mentioned can be found at phineaswrighthouse.com in the podcast section of our site, or in the show notes below. And if you haven't connected with me personally, come find me on Instagram at Phineas Wrighthouse and let me know you listened to this episode. I'd love to get to know you. Thank you for sharing this time with me. I know your days are full, and I'm really grateful that you chose to spend some of your precious time right here. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss any of these delightful conversations. I'll see you next week.